Hello all, I'm Glenn Fox, and in this video I'll discuss the stomach. My objectives for this video are for you to understand the relative location, gross anatomy, and neurovasculature of the stomach. The stomach straddles both the left upper and the right upper quadrants, although it's predominantly found in the left upper quadrant. It connects the esophagus to the duodenum, and it's anchored in place by both the greater omentum, which anchors from the greater curvature of the stomach, and the lesser omentum from the lesser curvature of the stomach. As you can see from this illustration, the stomach is the widest part of the gut tube or the gastrointestinal tract, and it's very diverse in its functions. So not only does it help to store some of those ingested materials, but it also physically and chemically breaks down or digests those materials. And as an extension of that, it regulates the movement of materials forward, in particular the movement of chyme, which is the digested material of the stomach, into the duodenum. Like the remainder of the gut tube, it helps to participate in microbial defense, and it has endocrine functions related to the secretion of materials into the gut tube or motility of materials through the gut tube, etc. When we look at the gross anatomy of the stomach, we see that there are several different parts. There's the fundus, or the roof of the stomach. There's the body of the stomach. There's also the pyloric antrum, which feeds into the pyloric canal, which then narrows into the pyloric orifice, which is surrounded by the pylorus. And that pylorus is the sphincter that regulates the movement of chyme into the duodenum. In terms of its overall shape, and this is going to be important for the neurovasculature which serves the stomach, we have a greater curvature, associates with remnants of the greater omentum, and we also have a lesser curvature of the stomach, which associates with remnants of the lesser omentum. So here we can see the stomach with the omenta added, and we can see the lesser omentum here within the bounds of the lesser curvature of the stomach, and we can see its associations with the liver. In particular, the bulk of this lesser omentum is comprised of the hepatogastric ligament, hepato from liver, gastric to stomach, as well as the hepatoduodenal ligament, which runs from the liver adjacent to the gallbladder down to the duodenum. The greater omentum hangs from the greater curvature of the stomach, and there are several parts to it. The lion's share is the gastrocolic ligament, or the omental apron, which falls down over or anterior to the transverse colon and then comes back around to the transverse colon. So this would be 4 layers of serous peritoneum. We also have a gastrophrenic ligament, not pictured here, which helps to connect the greater curvature to the diaphragm, and a gastrosplenic ligament, which connects the greater curvature to the spleen. With respect to the arterial supply of the stomach, all of the branches supplying the stomach come from the celiac trunk. That celiac trunk is an anterior major branch of the abdominal aorta. There are 3 branches to the celiac. We have the splenic, the left gastric, and the common hepatic artery. Serving the stomach, we have the left gastric artery coming directly from the celiac trunk and supplying the lesser curvature of the stomach. Also supplying that lesser curvature of the stomach is a branch of the hepatic artery proper, which is a continuation of the common hepatic artery. This is called the right gastric artery, and the right gastric artery also supplies the lesser curvature. And so what we see frequently is an open anastomosis between the left and right gastric arteries. So those gastric arteries are supplying the lesser curvature. Supplying the greater curvature is a little more complex of a story. If we follow the splenic artery, which is running posterior to the stomach here, it sends off short gastric branches, and it also sends a left gastro-omental artery. That left gastro-omental artery is moving medial, supplying both the stomach and the greater omentum with blood. That left gastro-omental artery has a counterpart called the right gastro-omental artery, which is a branch of the gastroduodenal artery, which is also a branch of the common hepatic artery. So to review, the lesser curvature is supplied by the left and right gastric arteries. The greater curvature is supplied by the right and left gastro-omental arteries. In terms of the venous drainage of the stomach, many of these veins are named according to their arterial counterparts. So for instance, there are short gastric branches of the splenic artery, and there are short gastric veins that feed into the splenic vein. There are also right and left gastric veins, which are known as coronary veins. These veins, like all of the veins of the gastrointestinal tube, are going to coalesce into the hepatic portal vein so that the nutrients absorbed by the gut wall can be delivered to the liver. The stomach is innervated by the enteric nervous system, which is comprised of both the myenteric and the submucosal plexuses. These plexuses are part of and controlled by the autonomic nervous system, the sympathetic portion of which that supplies the stomach directly distributes branches via the celiac plexus. The celiac plexus is the nervous plexus which surrounds the root of the celiac trunk. The preganglionic sympathetic fibers that source to the celiac plexus come from those thoracic splanchnic nerves. Recall that splanchnic nerves serve viscera. So coming down from the thorax, we have the greater, the lesser, and the least splanchnic nerves. Now the stomach, like much of the foregut, is served predominantly by both the greater and the lesser splanchnic nerves. So these fibers are sourced from thoracic levels 5 through 12. And when active, the functions are going to include vasoconstriction of these arteries, a decreased gut motility, constriction of the pylorus, and in addition to this, the visceral afferent fibers, those which we would colloquially refer to as visceral pain fibers, follow these sympathetic fibers. The parasympathetics are sourced from both the anterior and the posterior vagal trunk. Now, predominantly the gut tube is going to be innervated parasympathetically, preganglionically, by the posterior vagal trunk. The stomach in particular has a significant parasympathetic innervation from the anterior vagal trunk. With an activated parasympathetics, the functions are going to be more digestive. So for instance, we're going to see more secretomotor function, more motility of the gut tube, a relaxation of the pylorus so that we can move chyme into the duodenum, as well as some sensation. Overall, referred pain, which isn't true pain, but is interpreted by the brain as true pain, that comes from the stomach, is referred to the epigastrium. Thank you for your time, and if you have any questions or would like to see any additional visuals, please do visit the BlueLink webpage. Thank you.